Hello everyone, my name is Lucas. This is lucasgvariety. We're back for our Season 2 Dungeon World. Campaign title yet to be determined. We're going to probably get to that and more tonight. I'm here with my awesome new players. Some have been here before in other games or in this game, and some are new to the table. I'm just going to go straight across the overlay, let everybody introduce themselves real quick. And we're using tonight as our episode 0 to do our character build and our world building. I'm going to take lots of notes, get stuff ready so I can kill them, or have a great adventure for them later. And we're going to do that tonight and come back next week with the whole new adventure in this Powered by the Apocalypse hack called Dungeon World. So let me turn it over to the outsider. How's it going tonight, sir?
Well, it's going all right. It's going all right. I woke up this morning at 5:30 a.m. About to keel over from some sort of pain in my stomach. So that was fun. Since then, I've just been doing what I can to try and stay awake because I've been excited about this all week. The idea of, well, I guess we'll get into it later, but the ideas that we've come up with so far are very exciting, and I'm really psyched to get into this game and start playing some serious bashing of heads.
All right. Cool. Thank you, sir. Dem, how's it going?
It's going all right.
Yeah?
Yep.
All kinds of comments like usual. You never cease to amaze me.
Maybe I'm getting into character for my bard.
Okay. The speechless bard. All right. Well, thanks for joining us. Thad, how is it going tonight, sir?
Fantastic. Had a great day. I got to sleep in, which is kind of a rare treat for me. Took the kids for a walk, and then kids are four-legged kids.
Yep.
And then I got to spend a little time with the wife. So now I'm in my room, sequestered away safely, and she's not home at the moment, but she's never. Gaming is a new thing for her, so she's going to have to experience this kind of secondhand. So if there's a lot of eye rolling in the background, that's her.
Okay. You know what? You can always show her this video later too, and be like, "Look at this is what we did." And
I would like her to have some respect for me later, but that's a nice idea.
it's only going to be there for so long. But all right, well, whatever. We'll do our best. We'll do our best to keep it as professional as possible. Yeah, right. All right. So, well, thanks, guys. I'm Lucas. We are back. We're going to do Dungeon World. We're making up a whole new world. Basically, it's like taking D&D and mainstreaming it real easy. It's a Powered by the Apocalypse game, which means it's a 2d6. You roll two six-sided dice for every result. The Game Master does not roll. These guys do all the rolls. I react to them with moves of my own. There's a list of basic moves they have and a list of specialized moves they have based on their character class. And there's 3 results. You can roll with a result of 1 to 6 is an uber failure. Really bad things happen. Results of 7 to 9 are partial success, which usually is a success with a consequence. And a 10 plus is an uber success. So that's pretty much what you're going to see. When we go over to the overlays or switch over to the other one, the roll screen, you'll be able to see that happen. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of go through the process of character creation together. And I got all their character sheets up so we can kind of look at it over on this screen right here. And you guys can rename your character sheets after your characters. So we can, and in the game, I'm going to address you as your character sheets, kind of make you become them, as role-playing games are supposed to do. And what I think we'll do is first start out with, let me look at the book here. When you first make a character, you're going to be choosing, you choose your class and your race, and kind of the benefits there. So we're going to go through, let's go through what your class you are, what race you are, your name, and the look that you have. So let's start out with outsider. You can kind of give us a basic concept, and I'm going to grab a piece of paper so I can start taking notes. Go ahead.
Absolutely. So I'm going to be playing Rutger Hawk. He is a human fighter, and fighters are, as you might imagine, the people who wade into combat head first. They have the big swords, the big armor. They're the front line, and Rutger is no exception to that.
That's good. Oh, I guess you got through that really fast.
Yeah. I didn't know how much you wanted me to go into, but I figured that was good enough.
Well, you're also human, right? Is your race?
Correct. For a human fighter, once per battle, I can reroll a single damage roll, either mine or someone else's.
That's powerful.
It is powerful.
So you could re-roll one of my damage rolls?
I could re-roll yours. I could re-roll a dragon's.
Dang.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Interesting. That's a cool effect.
Yes.
Yep.
And then what's your look like? Because on each character sheet, it's going to give you like 4 different lines of different stats of what you look like to give us kind of an idea of what is it we're seeing when we are imagining Rutger here.
Sure. Rutger has dead eyes, a battered helm, calloused skin, and a built body. He's a pretty large dude. He's got a large sword. One of the features of being a fighter is that you get a signature weapon. And the signature weapon is something that is very kind of both personal and idiosyncratic to the person who wields it. It's for fighters, it's the thing. Like, you have this thing, and it allows you to do damage and gives you bonuses and all kinds of stuff.
Tell us about this weapon.
Sure. So this weapon is sort of a weapon. If you remember Optimus in our Apocalypse World game, it's something that I gave him, one of his characters, a long time ago, and it's called the Crimson Cleaver.
Crimson Cleaver. I like that.
Yeah. It is a sword. So the options there would be sword, axe, hammer, spear, flail, or fists. It is close. Options there are hand, close, or reach.
So,
and it has 2 enhancements. Now I'm not going to read all these off, but these are like just things that buff up the sword and kind of give it like its own personality and bonuses.
mm-hmm.
For the Crimson Cleaver, it is sharp, which gives it 2 piercing, meaning it'll go through 2 levels of armor.
That's good. That's huge.
Huge, absolutely huge. And then huge is it gives it messy and forceful, but what I'm imagining is that it's just this gigantic fucking sword, a big great sword with a heavy cut on it. And messy means that whenever I attack something and do damage or kill something, it messes up the whole place. Like, there's blood everywhere.
Yeah.
It's gory. It's not pleasant. Forceful means that it can push people back or push people down, move things about.
Mm-hmm.
There's force and weight behind it. And then finally, its look is ancient.
What's that mean? Wait, what's the sword look like overall? With it being the Crimson Cleaver and it has an ancient look. I mean, how big is it? Does it have a curve? I mean, give us just a little bit more.
Sure. Would you like me to post up a picture? Maybe we can get Rutger on the sheet here and enlarge him.
The character info bio page.
Yeah, we could just like drop him from the journal onto the playmat and then just enlarge him real quick. So I got a picture set up for him.
Oh, let me see if I can make that expand here.
Yeah, just a bit wider. There we go. Perfect.
Can you guys at home see that there? I can zoom in just a little bit, get that out of the way. So like that, basically, that sword.
Yeah, and it's got like it's got a chain attached to his arm and attached to like the hilt of the weapon. And I don't know, this picture itself just kind of spoke to me, and it told me, yeah, you want to go fighter. With what happened in Dungeon World, I think I'm done being a holy man because not many of my powers worked out too well. So I'm more interested in just bashing heads and fighting people to the death.
Okay. Alrighty. That's good for the moment. I'm going to ask you more about the Crimson Cleaver later, like how you came to get it and everything, but we're going to come back
Absolutely.
to you.
Sure.
Let's go over to Dem's character. Actually, let me jump back to Sean. How do you say your character's name?
Rutger Hawk.
Rutger. Okay, cool. Dem, who are you?
I am an elf bard.
Okay.
His name is Aria.
Area.
I don't have a lot of a backstory, but I've decided she's going to be chaotic in nature. So, according to the character sheet, this means I enjoy spurring others to significant and unplanned decisive action. So, I'm basically going to be an instigator.
Instigator, perfect. Okay, what's the look from the character sheet that you've picked here?
Yes. So the look. Sorry. 1 second.
You're fine.
We have knowing eyes, fancy hair. That's just a necessity. Traveling clothes and a thin body. So I'm kind of envisioning, guy's kind of a smart ass, but he's been places, he's seen things, and he knows things. So, yeah.
All right. Let's see. Look at your character sheet here.
And I'm looking for an image, as well. So, but
no problem. Let's see here. The bard. So you also have, and we'll come back to the gear. So you got your race. So what's being the elven race? What's that give you as far as for the bard? What's the special feature there?
When I enter an important location, it says your call in parentheses. So I don't know if that's talking about maybe the GM or if it's me. It's
your call.
It's me.
It's your call.
Because right afterwards it says you can ask the GM for one fact from history of that location.
Cool. Which may or may not be useful, or it may just be colorful. Something like that. So.
And then that will tie into his bardic lore, which is the grand histories of the known world.
I was going to ask you what your bardic lore was. Okay.
Yep.
So you went the grand histories of the known world. When you first encounter important creature, location, or item, your call, covered by your bardic lore, you can ask GM one question about it, and I will answer you truthfully. But then I may ask you what tale, song, or legend you heard that information in.
Yep.
So be prepared to.
I'm gonna have to channel my olden days when I could just come up with stupid stories just on the fly.
Yeah, I remember those days.
I have a quick question. Is Area a male or a female?
Probably male.
Okay.
I think we're all dudes as far as I can tell so far, but we'll see. All right. Let me pause there. Let me jump over to, I think my favorite name here so far is going to be Thunkle. Tell me about that name, first of all, Thad, before we go any further. Thunkle Lordgrant.
Thunkle Lordgrant?
Yeah.
It's really not a very fancy name. Most of the Lordgrants from the part of the nation that I'm in are generally base people, but my grandfather, Mildred Lordgrant, had some money to it. And so it was passed down through generations, and eventually I was able to scrape up enough with that and the rutabaga farming to afford to go to school. I had something of an aptitude to it, so I was able to excel and make small money doing conjurings on street corners to finance my wizarding education.
Nice. There we go. There's some backstory right there. A simple question. What is your name? I love it. This is what this game is all about. Tell us about your race and class and your look.
So Thunkle Lordgrant is a human wizard. The look is sharp eyes with wild hair, worn robes, and a creepy body. Creepy in the not shriveled old Bela Lugosi vampire, but creepy in the spends too much time in front of in a dark cellar kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is he a necromancer or something?
Maybe more like that. Maybe more just, never had a lot of friends kind of thing where he just a little uncomfortable around him. He's a little off.
This is great. And I'm going to, later as we make our bonds between all these characters, it's going to be really interesting to know how you guys all came together and how you already know each other and are a group before we even begin the campaign.
I think I've already got my bonds figured out for everyone else.
Okay. Bonds. Everybody will have one bond at least with everybody else. You can have up to two. We'll get to that soon. And as long as the other player agrees with that bond when you name it off, it's set in stone. So, and we'll come back to that. Okay. So I think we got a pretty good idea. We got the class, race, name, and we got your looks. Make sure your looks are somewhere on your character sheet just so I can refer back to them. And then next is to get to the stats. I think most of us have the stats in there. If not, that's what we're doing right now. There's a stat array that you choose from. Let me get that in here. It doesn't show up very well. It's like kind of hidden on the character sheet.
Can I ask a stupid question?
No stupid questions, man. Go ahead.
Great. So I'm looking at the Zoom meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys looking at another screen with like displays and
I have 2 monitors going on right now. This one has the Roll20 and web pages on it. This one has Discord and Zoom on it.
You're in Roll20, right, Thad?
Yeah, I just got into Roll20, so all I have is a picture of Hawk, Rodiger Hawk.
Okay. Yep, that's fine. And I like the picture that Dem has there and the wizard picture. It's all good.
Okay, great. As long as I'm not missing something.
Nope. And then
I have a picture.
well, there were suggestions and put in Discord by Outsider.
Oh, okay.
You can look at. So Thad, yes. So next, I think you're the one that needs to get your stats. We'll kind of follow along with you.
Okay.
Yeah, let's get that out of there for now. You'll see I put him in the. You have a stat array of 15. Let me make sure I got that right here. Oh no, I didn't put the 16. Let me re-copy paste those. No wonder that was wrong. Ignore the first one. 16, 15, 13, 12, 9, and 8. You just like D&D, you'll put amongst your strength, dex, con, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma.
I did the paper version, so.
Okay. So yeah, we'll just fill them into your one on the Roll20 here. You should be able to find that if you go over to the third at the top right corner. You'll just see like the little thing that looks like papers, like a little letter, and you see the one that's labeled Thad. And
Got it.
And then you open it up, and then that'll be your character sheet. So.
Okay. Sweet.
And then we'll just follow along with Thad as we go here. We'll go over to the wizard page. A lot of wizard stuff because they got all them spells, yo. Actually, do you want to fill in real quick and then I'll jump back to the other guys, or do you want to follow along with you?
I'll fill in and you can jump back. I just want to ask, strength is, do I fill in STR or strength?
You don't have to, you can just put the number in. Like where it's, okay.
I got it.
Yep, exactly, just like that. And
Cool.
you see the little dice next to the modifier? That's how you roll the dice in the game. You just click on that, and you roll one of these 6 stats for almost everything you do. So
Beautiful.
All right, let me jump back to, is it Rudiger? Did I say it right? Rudiger.
Rudiger.
Rud.
Yeah.
Like Dud.
Like Ashley Judd.
Like Ashley Judd. Okay, there we go. That's a good way. That's a good visual. All right. Tell us how you did with your stats here. How you laid them out.
So my strength is 16. I figured that's pretty important for a fighter. I want to be able to do a lot of damage and hit more reliably. My dexterity is 13. I figured that being able to get out of a tight spot, having a little bit of extra quickness to him on his feet would always help him out. His constitution is 15. Another good solid stat for a fighter means I get more for HP. Mm-hmm. Intelligence is 8. He's not a very smart guy. A lot of the time, he just kind of like goes for the strongest person in the room and charges right towards them, straightforward. Not very creative with his ways of destruction, but he gets the job done, and then he wastes all of his money afterwards. Wisdom is 12. I figure have decent, like, even number there, just in case I need to, like, look at something or need to resist something.
Yep.
And then charisma is 9. He's not a very interesting person.
You're a meat stick.
I am a meat stick, yes.
Perfect. All right, and then tell us about your alignment. We already got into that kind of with area. What's your alignment being neutral? What's that do for you, or what's that strive?
So for being neutral, I have to defeat a worthy opponent, or at least that's what Rudiger wants to do. He wants to be right in the thick of it with someone who is as strong as, or possibly even stronger than him, just to prove how far he's come, how strong he is, and just how much of a badass he is. And that's just kind of like part of who he is at the core.
Okay, and let me jump back here. So in this game, you get to earn experience. It's one experience at a time, right? You actually earn an experience every time you fail a roll. So if you roll a 1 to 6, it's bad because bad things happen to you, but you get to mark an experience. And also there is like end of session ones where I'll ask you some questions at the end, and if you answer yes to them, you also get experience. Another one of those things at the end of the session is, did you fulfill your alignment for this session? So if Rudiger, successfully defeated a worthy opponent, he would get an XP. If let me get it right, Area successfully antagonized someone else, or maybe one of his own companions, to get into a fight or do something, he would get an experience, right? So that's where your alignment comes in. It's not something you have to do, but it's something, if you do it, you get a little extra bump, should we say. All right, and then we got your alignment and that down. Let me keep going with you. You got your modifiers. You got your hit points are probably pretty good. What do we got?
Yeah.
Hit points. You do, let's see, damage of D10. And yeah, there's another thing in this game. Damage is based off of your character class, not the weapon you have in your hand. Some weapons can up it or change it, but as a fighter, you do D10 damage all the time, right?
Yep.
And
my signature weapon has the ability to get extra damage and do other things, but aside from that, yeah, it's D10 damage.
Okay, with some good armor. Yeah, let's go into your gear then. We've already done your sword. Let's go with the rest of your gear, and I think that'll get that, and then we'll come back to your moves later.
Sure. So the Crimson Cleaver, of course, as I already mentioned, that's my signature weapon. Mm-hmm. After that, I have some dungeon rations, which give me 5 uses, just in case I'm locked up in a place and I need to spend the night and defend myself from the nasties. I have the ability to run through and cook something up, or maybe just bite off some limbus bread or something like that. I have some scale armor, which just gives me 2 armor. It's not the best in the world, but it does do a fairly decent job. Armor in this game just reduces the amount of damage that you take flat. Mm-hmm. It's a flat subtractive. Then I have 22 coins, which I imagine, spend somewhere.
Yep.
Probably the last bit of coin that he had from his last job.
Sounds right.
And I have 2 healing potions, which pretty much do what they say. I drink one, it gives me some HP.
Yeah, we don't have a cleric in the party. Like, there's a chance the bard might be a healer later, but I don't know if I see that with this bard, but we'll find out. Otherwise, you guys are pretty much on your own to heal up naturally, find potions, and stay alive on your own, right? So
yeah.
Or get a long rest and recover some that way. So cool. All right, thank you, sir. Area. If I keep saying it right, let me know. And it takes me a while. You already went about your alignment, which is basically being an antagonist, right?
Yep.
All right.
Might as well play to my strengths.
Yay! All right. Tell us then about your stats. How you lined your stats, and then your gear.
16 in charisma. He's a charming fellow, for better or worse, or in most cases, well, probably for better, at least for him.
Yeah.
And then the rest kind of go into his intelligence and wisdom. He's going to be a talker. Sorry, guys, he's going to talk a lot. So at the expense of that is his strength and constitution. He's not meant to fight. Thinking, he does a lot of his talking to get people to fight for him. But his dexterity, I've given a 12. So if he does have to maneuver quickly, such as, say, when he can't bullshit his way out of something and gets into a fight.
Mm-hmm.
He is limber enough to be able to get away, but if he gets hit or if he has to fight, he's in trouble.
He's in trouble. Okay.
So strength is 8, constitution is 9, dexterity is 12, wisdom is 13, intelligence is 15, and charisma is 16.
Alrighty.
The 3 moves he has is it's arcane art is one of them. So I weave a performance into a basic spell. I choose an ally, and then I pick either I heal 1d8 damage, so kind of a healer.
You can.
1d4 forward to damage, so I imagine that would mean that whoever my target is, their next attack does an additional 1d4 of damage.
Yes. Yep. You buff them.
Or their mind is shaken clear of an enchantment.
Yep. Or
the next time someone successfully assists the target with aid, they get a +2 instead of a +1. So that's kind of a support. Yep. For Bardic lore, kind of what we talked about, grand histories of the known world. Kind of same as my elf, my race perk. Mm-hmm. When I encounter an important creature, location, or item, GM has to tell me about it, but in return, I have to come up with a story for it. So I kind of like that idea.
Yeah.
Port in the Storm, which is yet another one. When I return to a civilized settlement that I visited before, I have to tell the GM when I was last here, and then they tell me how it's changed.
Another little back and forth in some things. And
yep.
then you also have Charming and Open. What's that all about?
Yep. So when I speak frankly with someone, I can ask their player a question from the list below. They must answer it truthfully. Then they may ask a question also from the list, which I have to answer truthfully. Mm-hmm. The 5 choices are: who do you serve? What do you wish I would do? How can I get you to blank? What are you really feeling right now? And what do you most desire?
And I think that's fair. That can apply to one of the other players in the game or an NPC that you come across.
Right. So if I use that on anyone, then they can do the same back to me. So it's kind of like
straight talk.
Yeah.
But that's also to get information, kind of get their motives and intentions. Right?
Yep.
Okay.
So the bonds we haven't done yet. So for gear, I have a worn bow. If he has to fight, he's going to fight from far away. Got a bundle of arrows. He's got leather armor. He's a traveler, so he's got to be somewhat comfortable. And then he has his father's mandolin, which maybe I can get some acoustic music to play in the background while I'm singing my songs of praise or whatever.
I'm going to be asking more about the father's mandolin too, just like the Crimson Cleaver. It does. Let me just make sure here. So you got your father's mandolin, which is kind of, let's see. You also get dungeon rations for 5 uses and 1 weight. I don't know if you saw that.
Did I not pick that?
Yep. You want to so add that to your gear. Your load is 9 plus strength, right? So it's 9 plus whatever your strength mod is, which is a -1. So I think your load is actually an 8, is what you can carry.
Is 8?
Yeah, it's 9 plus strength. Or is it 9 plus your strength?
If it's 9 plus strength, and if there's a modifier to it, then the 16 makes sense.
Yeah, it's because it shouldn't be that mod. I think it's the mod. It's the plus strength mod. So you can't, which makes sense because your strength is lower, so you wouldn't be able to carry that much stuff. Okay. But you make sure you add the dungeon rations, which are 5 with 1 weight. And you got the father's mandolin.
That's no weight.
Okay, no weight. Yep. And then
you choose 1 instruments, and all are 0 weight for you.
Okay. And then it goes over. It says a songbook in a forgotten tongue, but I wonder if that's part of the first list. I think it's part of the first list.
I think it's part of the first one.
Okay, so you chose the leather armor, the worn bow, which is you can shoot near, so not far and not real close at hand, but basically you can keep your distance, right? 2 weight and a bundle and arrows.
And I also have a short sword.
And a short sword, yes, which is close and 1 weight. And what is the damage the bard does? Let's see here. The damage is D6. I'll put that in there for you if you like. So your damage physically is doing D6, and then your leather armor, what was that?
Just 1.
Does one What was it? Yeah, 1 armor.
Yeah, it's just 1 armor.
Yep, and then the
One
bundle,
armor, 1 weight.
the bundle of arrows is not like 3 ammo. Doesn't mean you just have 3 arrows. But every time you do a volley of arrows, if you roll bad, there might be a choice where you get to lose an ammo, which means you expend more. So 3 ammo does not mean 3 arrows. It means you have a good amount of arrows, but you could lose them over time.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Sure.
It'll be fine.
It's infinite, but it's not infinite.
It is. Yeah, it's infinite until you do something that costs something. Like if we went up to the volley of arrows, actually, or it's called volley, you can take aim and shoot enemy at range. So you roll plus dex. On a 7 to 9, you choose 1. And there's one. You have to take several shots, reducing your ammo by 1. That might be one of the things you pick. So then your ammo will go to 2, which means you've used a lot of arrows, but you haven't used them all yet. Make sense?
Sure.
Yeah. We'll see if you even have to use your bow. I know the point is to never use your bow, probably, or your sword.
Yeah. I'll just talk my way out of every
Oh,
fight.
right.
or I'll convince my target to attack Rudiger and
Attack someone else instead. All right, and then finally, what's your hit points here?
So I don't know. I just put in my stats and it said 24.
That seems like a lot. Your HP is 6 plus your Constitution, so it should be 6 plus your kind of 9. So you should actually have 15 for your HP.
Okay.
Yep.
I didn't understand that.
Nope, it's fine. It's fine. There you go. Your experience, we'll see about experience. You guys are. It's always 1 plus. It's 7 plus the level, so you have to get 8 XP right now to hit level 2.
Hey,
So-
I got 8 XP. I leveled up.
No XP yet, Dem. Not yet. I see you. So, all right. I think we did good there. And we're gonna. Thunkel, are you ready to go over some of your statties?
Absolutely. Let's give it a shot.
All righty. Let's start out with. Let me get down to the wizard. In the book here, wizard. It's a wizard blizzard. Your damage is a D4 when you have to do it physically. So that means you also don't want to attack melee if you don't have to. That's bad if you got.
How much damage is a D4 doing?
In game terms,
Yeah, in game terms. Like, is that smashing a plate on someone's head or kicking him in the shin?
I mean, if you did 4 damage, that's pretty decent. If you could roll a 4.
Okay.
But like, let's see. Like, how many hit points do you have, Rudiger? Like, Dem had like what, 15 hit points?
I have 25.
He has 25 as a fighter. Dem has like 14 as a bard. You'll probably have even less. So if you're taking it chunks of 4 to 6 at a time, it doesn't take many hits to take you down.
Okay.
That gives you a range or a scope.
Yeah, just trying to get an idea of like how much is damage is that?
Your spells are going to be doing your damage for you.
Right.
So how'd you lay out your stats for us?
Okay, I did strength of 8.
Okay.
Wizard should be my least important one. Dexterity of 12 because I'm more likely to try and what's the thing called when you think yourself out of a thing? Anyway, so I'm more likely to try dexterous escape than I would muscling my way out.
Oh, gotcha. Yes.
Constitution of 9, although maybe I'll switch that with dexterity. I'm trying to figure it out. Again, not planning on getting hit very much.
Not planning. Yes.
Not planning on it. Intelligence of 16, wizard. He's got to use his big brain.
Yep.
Wisdom of 15 because I think they're going to be closely related skills, especially as I develop some of the other abilities later on.
Magic. Yes.
And charisma of 13 because it's going to be a lot of interrogation, battle of the wits, working with and against people. So I want to be able to influence them in positive and negative ways.
Okay. The thing about hit points is your hit points won't change every time. Well, here you go. Every time you level up, you can take one of your 6 stats and increase it by 1. All right.
Okay.
Your hit points, let's say for a wizard, just to give you, your hit points are 4 plus your Constitution. Your Constitution is 0 with a 0 stat. So your hit points are 4. Not a lot. Oh, I'm sorry. Not 4 plus 9. I apologize. I did that wrong. It wasn't your bonus. It was your score.
Okay, so 13.
13. Yes, my bad. I totally made you go what?
That's like a 1 hit.
Yeah, I'm like, that means I can punch myself and die. Cool.
My bad. My brain is only half functional tonight, which is more than usual, actually. But anyway, go ahead.
How do I set the hit points on this character sheet?
Just type it in. It should be able to. There you go. I was hitting base HP. I'm not sure why.
So if you check HP, like the box next to HP, it'll switch to base HP, and then you can put in what your base is. So I think for Wizard, you said it was a 4.
4.
So you put a 4 in there, and then it would automatically calculate how much HP you should have depending on your constitution.
There you go.
Great. Okay, perfect.
All right. And then your damage, I'll put it in their box for you, is a D4 over on the left.
Beautiful.
So I think, what was the next thing to do? Tell us about your equipment, and then we'll get to your moves.
Okay, so the equipment I elected was bag of books.
Okay.
It says I have 5 uses of that.
Yep.
I don't know what that means.
So, and we can look it up down below, but basically what it is, if you need, like, I think I know a little bit about this location. I want to know more about it. I think I have a book about it. I'm going to use one of my uses to pull out a book, and it's going to give me the answers.
So essentially, I've got 5 books in there, unassigned as to what they are. I'd be like, oh, I happen to have a book about the history of this temple, and pull it out. Okay.
Correct. That's exactly the same thing as your dungeon gear is. If you guys get dungeon gear, it'll have like 5 uses. You'll have a backpack with all your basic equipment in there. Torches, lamps, grappling hooks. I think I need a torch. Good thing I have one. And so, yeah, you narrated it in. Okay?
That's pretty sweet.
So, you get a bag of books and 3 healing potions then, right?
Right, and I counted those under the other healing potions below, but noted it.
Okay.
Staff, I have one.
Okay. Good. Staff's good.
Always good. 4 healing potions in total.
Oh, okay. So you took an extra healing potion then?
Yeah, I took the extra healing potion as opposed to the antidotes.
Antitoxins? Okay.
Antitoxins. And then the 5 rations that were assigned to me.
So you guys start out in the poison lands, and no, just kidding. Man, I wish I would have had those antitoxins. No. My bad. I'm getting ahead of myself here. Anyways, tell us a little bit about the abilities that you get to start out with here. I know the wizard gets, let me see, wizard gets a few things, doesn't he?
Yeah. Starting moves.
Starting moves. Yes. Starting moves. Yes.
So I have my spell book in which all of my spells are prepared. I assume that this is a precious item to me and that if I lose a spell book, I'll lose access to my spells.
I would think so, yes.
Okay.
That's your most precious of all your books. You keep that one.
Right, that one's going to be tucked in a little pocket somewhere.
Yep.
Prepare spells, which allows me to ready them. Takes an hour or so of quiet meditation to do this. I can. Do you want me to go through like the attributes of each, or just kind of broad?
You can be broad. That's fine.
Casting a spell based on my intelligence, D10 as I cast successfully and don't lose it. D7 through 7 through 9. I cast a spell, but then there's a negative consequence, which may include losing the spell. Mm-hmm. So that I can keep casting spells as long as I want until one of the consequences makes me lose it.
Yep.
Spell defense, if I have a spell that is ongoing, such as an enchantment of some kind, I can opt to give up the power that is fueling that spell and redirect it to my defense or defense of one of the other players. It says, but it's to an ongoing attack, and it's subtracted damage.
It's to you.
Oh, done to me, just to me.
Yep.
Okay.
So you use that power to deflect and subtract the damage of that level of spell from you. Yep.
Okay. And the last one is ritual, where I can draw on a place of power to create a magical effect. So if I need to, so I guess I don't quite understand how this works. Like, what would be a magical effect? Like, if I need to summon a golem?
It's something that basically the spells don't cover it. You know, it's like I want to try to do this special thing.
Okay.
Right. I mean, maybe Sean, you can throw in here, but like something.
I want to create a diamond.
Maybe.
I will need special things to do that with.
Yeah, you probably require maybe like weeks, months, maybe a year. And then you'd require like some source of carbon, that sort of stuff.
I see there's a list of things that he can assign.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So that's if not otherwise covered, I can try to do this thing.
Yeah, you might. I want to summon a Balrog to help us. I'm like, oh boy. Okay, well.
Years, guys. Pull them off. It'll be fine.
Give me 3
Now,
weeks.
what's cool what's cool is that that can be used. It's typically not going to be something you use in combat, but you could use it in certain ways, just like on the borders of combat. And then Lucas could say, like, this is going to take, like, maybe your one of your spells or two of your spells in order to power or something like that. And then it would still cost you, but you'd still be kind of like in the moment.
Right. So it doesn't have to be a grand thing. It can be a minor thing. Like, I want to liquefy the floor around his feet and then turn it into concrete. There may be some mechanism to make that happen.
It could. If it's quickly, yeah. You might be like, we're going to go into battle tomorrow. I want to enchant the Crimson Cleaver and make it magical. What do I got to do?
Okay.
And I might be like, you might have to take this magical dagger you found and disenchant that, sacrifice some of the coin you have, blah, blah, blah. It takes a day, and then you can enchant his weapon or something like that, right?
Or I could take the blacksmith feature and basically say, no, I just destroy the dagger and I get this enchantment on the cleaver now.
If you have that power, I guess. But yes, all right. Yeah.
Well, fine, if you want to do it that way.
And speaking of which, actually, let's come back to your actually, did we get everything? Did we cover all your stuff, Thad?
Alignments?
Oh, yes. Tell us about your alignment.
So the options were good, neutral, and evil, and I figured I'd go with evil because that's more fun.
What does evil ask you to do in order to get experience from your alignment?
It's not too bad. It says use magic to cause terror and fear.
It's not too bad.
Well, it's non-specific as to whom these are applied.
That's true.
I mean, it doesn't have to be
what's
people in my party.
Rudiger's, are you chaotic or what are you?
Me?
No, Rudiger.
Oh, Rudiger.
Rudiger, but yes, I'm neutral.
Neutral. Okay.
Yep, I have to
No one's good in this group.
No one's good.
Yeah.
That's convenient.
You got the bard is chaotic.
It literally goes worse as you go down the line.
Yeah.
Like, I'm neutral. The bard is chaotic, and then Thunkel is literally just evil.
This is going to be so good. All right. And the only thing we haven't done to yet, and we're going to kind of get down to the end. I know we got to do a little more of the world building, but let me jump back to Rudiger here. Rudiger. I'm going to get it right. And tell us just about your abilities, and then we're going to get to the bonds, and then we'll go from there.
Okay. One of my abilities, a big one, is my signature weapon. I already kind of described that a bit. Mm-hmm. The next one is armored, which means that any armor that I wear, I ignore the clumsy tag on, which it just makes sense. I'm trained in armor, basically. The last one that I have right now as a starting ability, fighter doesn't get a whole lot, is bend bars, lift gates. When I use pure strength to destroy an inanimate obstacle, I can roll plus strength. On a 10 plus, I choose 3, and I'll describe the options below. On a 7 to 9, I choose 2. And the options are, it doesn't take a very long time, nothing of value is damaged, it doesn't make an inordinate amount of noise, or you can fix the thing again without a lot of effort.
So at least 2 of those things won't happen, and 2 of those will, or maybe 3 will. So, all right. That is excellent. I'm supposed to, at this point, ask a lot of questions, but we're going to be a little shorter on time, and I'm also not, my brain's not thinking, so we're going to be doing some of this stuff probably during the week. But I'll keep going. Let me jump into bonds here. So let me find those bonds. So I'm going to read this out loud real quick, okay? So you guys have bonds listed in your character sheet. You don't have to use them. But here's the thing. You have a bond with the other character. When the bond gets resolved for you, you get experience. So let me read it real quick. Bonds are what make you a party of adventurers, not just random assortment of people. They are the feelings, thoughts, and the shared history that tie you together. You'll always have at least one bond, and you'll often have more. Each bond is a simple statement that relates your character to another player character. Your class gives you a few to start with, and you can replace your starting bonds and gain new ones throughout play. So at the end of the session, you may resolve one bond, if we think you resolved it, right? Resolution of that bond depends on both you and the player of the character you share the bond with. You suggest that the bond has been resolved, and if they agree, it is. And if so, you mark experience. You get a 1 XP. So if the bond is resolved when it no longer describes how you relate to that person, or that the circumstances may have changed, or something to that effect. Okay? So, and this is without us knowing anything else about the world. This is just us as the characters before we dive in to this crazy, I don't know, evil dragons, wizards, and princesses, or whatever we decide we're going to do here. Does anyone have one that they think they might know that they want to rattle off towards someone else at this time?
I have 2. I'll go ahead and do mine, and I think they fit considering the stuff that I've heard. At least I think it would be interesting for the campaign.
All right. Yeah, you mention it, and if the other player agrees with you, then you mark it as your bond on your sheet. Okay. Go ahead, Area.
Well, and one of these is weird because it doesn't seem like. In fact, let me double check just to make sure I got it right.
You're fine.
So I'll tell you what. I'll come back to it.
Do you have another one?
I know one, but I want to double check the other one.
We'll go with the one that you know. Let's see what that's like.
Rudiger does not trust me, and for good reason.
Rudiger, what do you think?
Well, then that chooses the bond that I'm gonna pick for Dim's character, Area.
Okay.
Area owes me their life, whether they admit it or not.
Oh, okay. Do both of you agree with the other's bond?
I agree with his.
Okay. I want to know the story behind this. That's and this is where we start developing the world / your grouping together, because you guys have been together for X amount of time. Excuse me. Everybody's getting their bonds down.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Which is good. That way I can go back and look at it later, because somebody may be asking you guys questions. I have to ask you lots of questions. So, yeah, make sure you add the bond in your character sheet. Why does he owe you your... Why does Area owe you his life?
I believe that at one point... I have a feeling that I've known Area off and on. We probably met in a tavern. I frequent many taverns looking for the next drink and the next bar wench. And we probably met a few times as he was performing. And at one point, there was a group of like less than savory individuals, possibly even less savory than Area himself. And they started making trouble and heckling. Area got a little upset by this. And I would say that I probably went after these bandit type guys and slew them to the last, except the very last guy. Area, what's your weapon of choice, Area?
It'd probably be the bow.
Okay. Except the very last guy, right before I'm able to get to him, even though he looks like the toughest out of them all, and I'm ready to go, Area shot an arrow into this guy's throat and nailed him to the wall, and chose to hide the bow after that. And every time I ask Area about his bow skills or where he learned his trade and that sort of thing, he's always evasive or something like that. I guess that part of it you could come up with if you want. If you want to make any adjustments too, that's fine.
Yeah. Retort. So, in a less than savory tavern with less than savory folk. I mean, that's good. It makes sense, right? I mean,
It's nice to hear I'm apparently a good shot, at least, to get someone right through the neck, right into the wall.
Yeah, man.
He was 3
I wasn't
inches
gonna throw you
away.
entirely under the bus.
No, I'm good with that. I think that fits.
Okay.
And what was yours with him? Oh, he doesn't trust you, and good reason.
Doesn't trust me, and for good reason. But I'm still toying around with it. Can I come back to it?
Yeah, we can.
Sorry.
No.
I have to debate these things in my head.
No, I like it. Let's jump to either Rudiger with Thunkel or Thunkel with whoever.
1 second.
Okay. Thunkel.
So I'm just kind of come up with these, but I was thinking that Arya is trying to keep a secret from me. And, it's a secret. I don't know what it is. And part of me wants to use some of my arcane powers to draw that out and find out the answers. I don't like having secrets kept from me.
Okay.
But there's always a fingerprint left on it when you do something like that. So I'm holding back. I don't want to do that inside of my party. It would cause a problem. And I do need Arya's cooperation. It's also kind of a little more fun if I can find out on my own. I think the secret is something that doesn't pertain to me, but pertains more about the nature of Arya himself, and would inform us whether he is more or less trustworthy. A previous alliance, household membership, something like that.
Ooh, a secret guild membership or something. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah.
That could be. Yeah, guild membership could work.
Thieves Guilder. What do you think, Arya? Are you keeping a secret from Thunkel? Yes? Okay. Sure.
Cool.
Okay. We'll have to know more about that secret now. We can think on that, so we don't have to reveal it now. And also, it's more fun if it comes out in game sometimes, right? But if you find out, I would like to know, just so I can help flush it out later on. All right. Excuse me, my voice it's on the way out, I think. Let's see what else. So make sure, as long as Arya agrees with that, put his name in that bond that you have on your sheet, Tunko.
Yeah.
These are good things I can come back to help build this world. And then let's see. Thunkel with Rudiger.
So I was thinking, I have two possible bonds, maybe both. One is that I think Rudiger is misinformed about the nature of the world. I respect his violence and his physicality very much. It's kind of a reflection of my own neebish, bookish kind of ways. But he's so obsessed with strength and power that he doesn't understand that that's just one way to view the world. And really, magic is real power. And I think that he could come to understand that and become more powerful still if he would just understand.
Oh. What do you think? Rudiger? What do you think about that? Oh yeah, nope, no problem. Caught you mid-hail there.
Yep. I put a thing in chat for you.
Okay.
Or not in chat, in the playmat for you.
In the playmat?
Yes.
Oh, Rudiger. Did I say Rudiger?
Yeah.
Rudiger. I'll get it. I had to
You'll get it.
Petterin took forever.
Yep.
Oh man, Rudiger. Okay, thank you.
All right. You're welcome. So, yeah, I think that's fine. I honestly don't think he pays too much mind to Thunkel's things. But what's interesting is that I had sort of like the other side of this, in that Rudiger thinks Thunkel is soft, but Rudiger's going to make him hard like he is.
So perfect. They are polar opposites. Want to teach each other, right?
Yeah.
What do you think? You guys both in agreement with each other's bonds?
I would say so.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay. So at any time, if these bonds become obsolete, like you know that Thunkel is never going to try to start lifting some weights, and you're like, this just doesn't apply anymore. The bond is resolved in that way. Or if you like Thunkel, man, he just got strong. He leveled up. He put a point into strength. I think that means he's kind of seen things my way. I think that bond is resolved. Anything like that. Anytime you think it doesn't apply anymore, the bond gets resolved. You rewrite a new one, and you get XP. That's how that's going to work. All right. So. Who am I missing? Did we cover all? Are we still? Is it?
I think Area has one
for Thunkel
left,
and he was thinking about how he was connecting with you too. I think.
Yeah.
Morgan does not trust me for good reason, which we're getting to. Okay.
We could. If you wanted, we could start some light world building.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Dem, how much more time do you got? I know we're close to 7:30.
I can probably do about another 10, 15 minutes.
Okay. Yeah, I do want to come back to what you think your bond with Thunkel is, but we can wait a minute if you want a little more time. So we're gonna come back to that. I got questions for each of the three of you, but we're going to come back to that later. Let's do some light world building. Let me take some notes. I will take some notes here. I'm going to ask some questions. You guys answer them. The world becomes canon. It can be a very complex world full of kinds of things. We can keep it a lot simpler, more Dark Ages. It can be high fantasy. I mean, so first initial thoughts you guys want to throw out there. Go ahead. I'm going to start jotting things down. We already had a couple things, so we can kind of expand on those things, or...
I would say I'm always one for high magic.
High magic, okay.
Yeah, I like worlds that are high in magic. That there's like magic is just in the air, almost like the spices on Arrakis.
It's all around you. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So when you say high magic, are you talking like everything's just done, like plumbing is handled magically and everything goes along in magical carriages, or more
possibly? I mean, I would say like it doesn't necessarily need to be that like technology and magic are separate. They could be completely conjoined together. I was running a game of D&D at one point where there were manufactured devices that held magical energy, and they were sold to power different things. Like there's electricity ones that were sold to power like more advanced devices, as to where like primary electrical production wasn't really a thing. Like coal plants and nuclear plants weren't a thing, but you could buy this object that was charged with electrical magical energy, and it would power like lights or an alarm or something like that.
So magic is the fuel for everything.
Could be, yeah.
So where does a magic user fit in that? What do they have? Do we count as like scientists? Are we the engineers?
I mean, are they?
We call them natural philosophers.
Are they also run of the mill? There's like wizards everywhere, or well, here's the thing. Let me jump back. This is something it's solo in Dungeon World, like Apocalypse World. Like Thad, there are other magic users in the world, but you are the only wizard in the world. You are the only one that can use powers like you use powers. There are a lot of guys in the world that brawl and kill, but there's only one fighter, and that's Rudiger. So basically, you are a very unique character. There might be mages and sorcerers and warlocks, but there's no wizards that do exactly what you do.
Okay, so each of us is unique in the world, even though other people have overlapping traits.
Yep, there are minstrels and singers and actors and mimes, but there's only one bard.
Okay, cool.
So
all right,
if that helps in the way of thinking now.
Absolutely, that's kind of where I was going. It's like if magic is used for the world, I have to figure out how I'm perceived and how I can use my abilities, because I'm not going to startle anyone with magic.
Yep.
But yeah, if that works, that actually works fine. That's great.
And not only that, but if I recall correctly, you're like the most powerful of your like type. Like I would be the most powerful brawler, fighter, puncher, slasher. you would be the most powerful spellcaster, weaving magic throughout the entire world, possibly. And Aria would be the most wizened and intellectual bard, knowing songs from ages past.
So we each start off as heroes. We have all of those things. We haven't started our quests, but we already start off with that magical hero advantage.
You've already, and you guys have already done stuff together. That's why we make the bonds, because you've already experienced adventuring before this, and now we are current. Here we go. What's next for your characters? Okay.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. That sounds great. I like it.
So I like high magic so far. We just need to know, what does that mean specifically? And does that mean... and anybody can throw in here. It's not just the wizard that gets to decide. Like, the bard can make it. The fighter can decide what magic is, you know? So...
Aria, do you have any input?
No, all sounds good.
All right.
Yeah. I kind of like the magic of the idea of magic being a household commodity. You know, everybody's got magic fire starters and magic cook pots, and the refrigerators are replaced by magic, preservation thing.
It's like Breath of the Wild. You just throw food into a stove, and it just magically cooks no matter what it is.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Where everything is, it's low level.
So magic equals technology, and technology is good at this point. Technology is like...
Yeah.
Okay. So high-end magic users, aside from your run-of-the-mill people that, create all these little powerful bulbs of magic, like your end, you're just something beyond all of that, right? Like that's child's play, that kind of stuff.
Maybe he's widely respected, just seen as like eccentric more than just creepy.
Okay. More of like the Tesla.
Yeah.
Weird, little off, very respected in what I do. Known about. That's not bad. I could see that.
Okay. All right. That's a good start with magic, at least. We got a lot of magic in this world.
So we also have this brawler, this fighter. What makes this world so violent where we can get away with this?
Oh, that's a really good question. I like it.
Are we in the outlands, the third world nations, the unstable areas?
Well, I was imagining like if magic was such a commodity, like if it was everywhere, then I imagine like magical creatures and things aside from mundane humans are also very plentiful.
Okay.
So it could be like a situation where, we have all this magic, but there's also all these other fucking creatures and like maybe dragons or denizens who also have their own innate magic, and it's probably better than ours.
The peril is there to come with it. There's magic.
Right.
So life is not that easy. Like, you have a lot of technology, even in the smaller towns and stuff. They still have magic. It makes life easier, but life is also more difficult because there's magic creatures that are going to cause trouble around every corner.
Yeah.
Perhaps the fighters and the rough people are a bit like military or mercenaries, where they're accepted and their violence is accepted because they're needed for keeping things safe. And sometimes you go outside of the law a little bit, and you may have to kill a town guard, but your reputation keeps you alive or keeps you free.
They're accepted as a matter of fact, as a necessity, right? I mean, I like that.
They put up with it.
I mean, he's talked about this guy is always looking for the bigger, badder challenge. I mean, he's not just a necessity, but he loves being a necessity.
I love being in the thick of it. Yeah, I love doing what I do. I'm good at what I do. It's like Rudiger is one of those people who found what they enjoy in life and is just exploiting it to the fullest. And what he enjoys is just bashing skulls in and chopping people in half.
That's good.
One thing I was going to say is it could be that there are like, I don't know how much religion I want to bring into this. I know we were kind of heavy on that last game, but maybe there's like maybe there's like a Templar order or something that is, or like the general not necessarily police, but like they're sort of like the people who go around to different towns and defend against monsters and magical creatures and maybe even demons or something.
A little bit like that Templar order. Like, that's not necessarily a divine thing, but maybe they have some kind of. I mean, there could be no gods. It could be just different levels of magic or different types of magic, even. Or there could
Maybe
be
the gods are dead.
Maybe.
Ooh, gods are dead. No one's keeping control of the demons and the monsters.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe there was a huge god battle a long time ago, and they destroyed each other and it exploded all their magic everywhere. And this is centuries or millennia later, and this is what's left.
I kind of like that. That gives it a justification for the magic being everywhere. It was, the gods exploded magic all over the planet, and this is the nasty radioactive mutations that came from it.
I think I'm okay with that. Jump in, change up, anything. Dem, what do you think so far?
Sounds good.
He knows I want to shake my fist at him. Okay, got it. Do you guys like that idea? You like that, Sean? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exploded everywhere. Yeah, I mean that would be what birth. I like the idea. It's like the radioactive fallout of the god's magic, right? This is like maybe not eons, but like millennia later, and this is what we got. Now we have like a Templar order, like the one thing that might be where your paladins and your clerics are. They might not be to a deity. They might be to a cause or an ideal, right? I mean, but I'm not going to call them the Templars. I don't think they would need a better title or a different.
Sure.
Well, if the Templars' god is dead, you give them 1,000 years of not having a god, and this is what they became.
Yeah.
Hey, Dim, I had an idea for you. What if you were like the last person who remembered what like the hymns or the songs of praise or whatever to the gods were, and that's like maybe this is entirely up to you, but maybe your songs and magic are more divine than you realize. It's just an idea.
Yeah, if you don't like it,
This guy is more kind of, he's a trash. I think more in lines of a trash talker. He's really good at convincing people the BS. So I think what he would do is I don't know if he would do the hymns. He might use the knowledge of the hymns to get his way. That's the thing.
That's
Okay.
That's perfect. I mean, you might know about the ancient hymns, and how you use them to your own benefit is completely up to you. Because you're the one that would come across all the ancient lore, and you would know it somehow passed down to you from some way. You might just not use it the way that they were intended to be used.
He would use it in a way that benefits him.
Oh, man, that's good. That's really good.
So he would only use it if he saw a way to exploit it.
Okay.
So if it's not really in the cards in the situation, he wouldn't do anything.
Okay. I mean, if all these gods are so long dead anyway, even if you call them by name, no one's going to know what you're talking about unless you explain it. So really, yeah, you use everything exactly how you want it to be used.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Maybe demons are a thing, like a bigger thing than we're really addressing.
Yeah. Well, like I said, if the gods all died in the war, who's controlling the angels and the demons and all the other lesser beings? They're just having a free-for-all.
They've been fighting and messing around for a long time, and all of their not transactions, but all the things that they've done have just caused what's left to be, fallen on humans, right? And elves and dwarves and whatever. I mean, do societies stand out like little beacons amidst the darkness, like in the world of Pathfinder? Whereas, like, it's a dangerous, dangerous world out there, like D&D and Pathfinder, and where you have civilizations, it's like, relatively safe. Or is it more chaotic than that, or is it dependent on what area of the world you're in? How does that work? We don't have to make a gigantic world. We can make like a smaller land, but whatever. Excuse me.
I like the idea that each one's different.
Each one what?
Each one is different. Like it could be like in one city, it's like a shining beacon of progress, or like really heavily protected by magical barriers and mages and stuff. And then another one could be like a place where maybe demon possessed people are like enslaved and forced to do shit.
It's funny that we mentioned demons, and I just got done watching on Netflix Ash vs. Evil Dead, both seasons 1 and 2. And he's just fighting the Deadites and killing them every single episode. So much gore, so much all about Ash, and saving the world, even though he causes it, all the trouble. And then you say demons, I'm like, oh gosh, Deadites everywhere. I
like the idea of having a highly varied political structure. You know, this nation is still intact. This one's a bastion of civilization, maybe with a dark secret underlying it. More or less, it's like walking through any bit of wilderness. There's lots of wolves trying to kill you. Lots of little imps and whatever trying to stop you along the way. I'm okay with a high amount of variation.
So each city or each civilization is its own unique thing.
Sure.
It's how
its own little microcosm.
Yeah, it's how they learned to survive with the elements and the people that were there at the time when they were rebuilding, right? So some are demon run, some are angels run, some are like nothing, some have dark secrets you don't know about. These people become cannibals at night. You just don't know it. And most people don't live to tell a tale because visitors get eaten at night. You know, whatever, right? Like, it's different, each one.
It reminds me of that kind of reminds me of the anime show Berserk, because like each town in that show, after a certain point, has something going on with it, where a person is either like transformed into like a demon or a half demon, or they made a deal with one, and that demon is now like running the town or killing people or eating people, that sort of thing.
Okay. Wow. I didn't survival what that is here. Okay. I like that. So wherever civilization we start in or near will be its own unique thing, right? Mm-hmm. Whether we decide to start in a town or we start right out in the midst of some battle. But that brings me back to our main. Let me come back to our main point, at least our main campaign point before Dem's out of here. Do we have like a main ideal or a main thought for our main campaign? Okay, I'm thinking about running this right now between 6 and 8 sessions. We have about 2.5 hours each session if we dive right in, and we have like a 5 to 10 minute break in the middle if we need to. But otherwise, we're hitting it hard, right? We're moving right along, okay? It's narratively driven. I don't have to do a lot of maps and a lot of tokens. We don't have to waste time with D&D tactics where we go, boy, let me look at the rules, and all that. There's none of that. So we can move faster. So with that in mind, what's the goal we want to accomplish outside of the game, outside of character, like for the group? Is there a princess to rescue, as we talked about before, quote unquote? Is there someone that's been taken from one civilization and is being held in another, or being held by monsters, and you guys are the only ones that can get them back? I mean, do we like this? Do we have some other ideas?
I like the idea of having a fixed goal. Princess, magical item, pot of gold, something, or we're going for this. And that thing can have different meanings to each of us, but at least it gives us a place to go to. Like, well, what are we doing now? Go towards the goal.
Okay.
I know stuff comes up along the way. That's the point of the adventure. But.
Yeah, I mean, it could be like we have one main goal, and it's a long way to get there and a long way to get back. So we have side quests. Yeah. Or, yeah, I mean, it kind of goes along like, what have you guys done in the past already? How did you come to be a group? I guess that would also be kind of important to establish too. How you guys came to be a group together, So we can go, right, it makes sense that they're together right now to do this new main adventure.
Well, I kind of thought of an idea, and it would maybe tie into some of the bonds.
Sure. Yes.
Whatever our objective is,
Mm-hmm.
I'm the one explaining it to the group. So this is what I heard. There's this treasure to be had and stuff like that. Believe me in what I'm saying, even though you don't have any factual proof, which will tie into Rudiger not trusting me for a reason. But for all we know, I'm renowned for kind of knowing my stuff, even though he doesn't trust me. So I'm just kind of being like, hey guys, at the top of this mountain, there's something there. We should check it out.
Yeah, that's good.
That goes perfectly into why I think you're keeping a secret from me. Yeah, there's this fantastic item. But why do I get the heebie-jeebies when you tell me about it?
You'll just have to find out.
Yes, you go up there. I like it.
I like it. Bard has the main plot idea. Okay. All right.
So I'll just need to know what it is, and then I can roleplay it.
Exactly. I mean, in this world, if you can literally be evil in one town and good in the next, and with all a bunch of chaos in between each city with monsters and bandits, I mean, literally anything is possible, right? Dragons, I think, are definitely a thing I would like to see. If you guys want dragons, I wouldn't mind throwing a dragon in there, but and then magical beasts, right? Magic is high. Magical beasts are a thing that are popular, right? So we discussed that. This is coming together. So the world can really be as big as small as we make it. We don't even have to make it like clearly with clear boundaries, right? It could be vast enough that it's dangerous enough that you maybe in your life don't travel very far because it's not safe to do so. Only people that have power like you can actually make it from one place to another a lot, you know?
I think that's actually a really good principle to have. Is the regionality is driven by the hazard of crossing areas. Mm-hmm. So word doesn't travel far or fast. People don't get out much. It gives us a lot of latitude to make stuff up, but also allows for the regionality.
Mm-hmm. Maybe we, since people don't really get to and fro very often, trade would be difficult, and protecting like caravans and stuff would probably be a pretty lucrative job.
Oh yeah.
What if we were like, I know this might sound minor, but it could lead into a lot more. What if we knew each other from work protecting caravans? And then like the opening session would be us traveling with a caravan, trying to protect it, maybe failing or something, and then learning from area, like what the fuck was it that just attacked us? Are we going to go after it? Who's its boss? That sort of thing. And then we can tie in, like once we get back to town and kind of prepare things, we can tie in the whole like rescue princess thing and say that this group or person that or monster or whatever that attacked us has a princess as well. And they've been like raiding caravans up and down the road or up and down this this old trading route or something like that.
I like where that's going. I like the idea that maybe you guys met because you protected caravans, right? Like that would be, that's what I was thinking. Like trade would be hard, but trade is necessary. And mercenaries, caravan guards would be a huge thing, right? We could open the adventure where we're right at the tail end of one of these, and you guys have been working caravans together as a group for a while. And this is when the fit hits the shan, so to speak, and we get the thing rolling. Thad, what were we going to say?
I think that could work for my character, considering he's a wizard. He doesn't have a ton of power, but he's fairly powerful amongst magic users. Mm-hmm. He travels and does this mercenary work on the side as a way to travel and get more knowledge, more exposure to magic.
Sure.
So like
it's everywhere.
Labor as a fighter or as a protector in order to go to these various places.
Sure.
I've got muscle with me. Yeah, that works.
Yeah, I mean, like I know there's, I haven't studied the elemental magic of electricity a lot, but I know in the northern region there's a lot of electrical beasts, and there's a caravan going there. So I'm going to go because maybe I can kill something and absorb its power and study it and learn something from it. right?
Or how else will I find books? Then I go to where the libraries are.
Yep.
That was great.
This is good. I'm happy with this starting.
So we knew each other. Were we defenders of the various caravans going into this, or were we like three separate protectors that got together in this story?
What I was thinking is me and you, Dim, Rutger and Area would have met in the bar. So the whole thing with the bandits and all that would have happened. And then that's how we met and started talking about, like protecting caravans. Maybe I introduced you to it, or maybe you had already started doing it or something like that. And then when we were on one of our trips, the caravan didn't think that we were enough. Maybe they hired Thunkel in order to have like a different edge to this and kind of keep the magical energies at bay.
Special needs mercenary.
Yeah, something like that. And then that's how the two of us met him.
Okay. All right, that'll work. Then I got my two final bonds figured out. Then.
Oh, let's hear them. Let's get it thrown in there.
So the part where Rudiger does not trust me for good reason. We're gonna say after everything happened, I was still kind of irked by people's reaction to the performance. So I convinced a bunch of people that there was some treasure kind of, out into the forested area. And Rudiger follows, but doesn't let it be known that he's following. So I don't know that he's there. But he's just kind of trailing back with this huge ass sword that's probably hitting everything along the way. But
I do that normally in real life, so yeah.
Yeah. But so I don't know what he was planning. Maybe he was going to try to protect me again, or just kind of seeing what's going on, but didn't get that far, because once we got to a certain point, my grand histories of the known world, I used that intelligence to essentially trigger a trap on everyone in the group and killed them all. And then I stole their stuff, which is a bundle of arrows, a short sword, and some rations.
Wow.
So Rudiger
to the little-known pit trap of doom left behind from Millennia's Book 4, and threw them all in.
Long time ago, yeah.
Yeah.
Trap got triggered and it kills them. So Rudiger knows not to trust me because I clearly have no regard for human life, and I just steal from them.
That is so great.
So if you're good with that, Rudiger, we'll have it go that route.
That's definitely going to come up.
That's definitely
in a big way, probably. If you're okay with it coming up in a big way, I'm okay with it. Yeah.
That's fine.
Oh crap! That's good. Okay.
And then,
Oh boy.
and then for what's his character's name? I'm sorry,
Thunkel.
Thunkel.
Not Funkle. What's that? Okay.
Thunkle.
Okay.
I like Funkle too.
Area is aware that Thunkel has increased magical powers over anyone else's, or over a lot of people, and so Aria's been singing stories of him long before he ever met him in person, in an attempt to, be like the storyteller that's able to get a few extra coin from people, or to antagonize people like, oh, that's adorable, you can warm a pot up, I know someone who can set a tree on fire,
So you were singing songs about Thunkel long before you met him in person, and then you had a chance to actually work with him in a caravan one day.
Because he also liked the eccentric, what's the proper way to say it? The eccentric tendencies that he has.
They're kind of two peas in a pod there, possibly, right? In their own way.
Maybe. Aria's more of a dirtbag, though.
And Thunkel's more of like, I want to know about power. It might cost some innocent lives.
Yeah, he's still evil, yeah.
I forget. A classy dirtbag.
I forget, in terms of, who's the nicest person, it's the giant-ass guy with the giant-ass sword.
Who likes killing for fun.
Who likes killing for fun. He's probably...
Hey, man, I'll tell you what, though. Fucking... Mary might stab you in the back, but at least I'll stab you in the front where you can see me coming.
Perfect. Well, there's the moral compass in this group is just like Captain Jack Sparrow's compass when it doesn't know where it's going. It's just all over the place, right? Thunkel, how do you regard human life? Let me just ask you.
Oh, I regard all life the same. I respect it implicitly. All things have value. So does suffering.
Wow.
I remember I was playing a necromancer character last Thursday, not last Thursday, but the Thursday before, and I used the line as I was immobilizing some guys with like spindly skeleton hands. What are you saying? There is a tool. Use it.
It's a tool. That's right.
Yep.
It's a tool. There you go. There's so many good necromancer memes out there too. Okay. Let's see. So let me just throw this past you guys. I think we're actually pretty good. I like the idea of starting, if you guys are okay, kind of open right up with some action, especially to get it rolling. Like you guys are all in a caravan protecting it almost to the city. Maybe something happens. That'll lead you towards, going, the aftermath of that will lead you guys to the main quest, right? Mm-hmm. I'll think of some things. I'll throw some things at you. I'll have a question for each of you guys, and you guys can just tell me in Discord, kind of explain the backstory to me. So I have a little something for each of your characters. So I'm going to give you, and I'll be putting this up on YouTube today, but here's the question for each of you. This is regarding something from you. For Rudiger, got it right.
Yes.
Rudiger.
You did indeed get it right.
The Crimson Cleaver, I want to know more about the history of the sword and how you came by it.
Maybe we should ask, not to put a hamper on anything, but maybe we should ask Area first so that if Dim needs to get out of here, he can. That's
fine. I was going to give it to you guys to think about for the weekend and come back with later, but if you want to do it now, we can. Area, yours was your father's mandolin. I want to know more about that, what the actual value behind that is. Maybe the one thing that actually does matter to him. I don't know. And if you have an answer right now, you can talk about it. And then for Thunkel, you talked about your family history, like the name, the Lord Grant name. I want to know more about the actual Lord Grant family and what the status is on that family, why they're so, with money and what their importance has been, and what kind of city they're from and everything. Or as the assumed chat thing.
All right.
So those are the questions I have for each of you. Oh, geez. Come back to that later, Dem. So that's the question for each of you. And then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about that when we start our adventure next week. Does that work for you guys?
Cool.
Just to quickly run this over, we have high magic. It can be a household commodity. Magic is like the technology here. A lot of magical creatures, very plentiful. Reason is the gods had a huge war millennia or so ago and destroyed each other. Their radioactive magical essence dripped over the entire world and caused it what it is today. All civilizations are different. Some are beacons of hope. Some are evil. They're all different. They each may have their own secret. Demons are a thing. Angels too. There's a Templar order, which we need a name for, that goes around and is like the hired hand. And maybe they're like the ones that are in charge of the caravan protecting, or they're part of it, right? They're the clerics and the paladins of this world, this Templar order, which may be different than the caravan protectors.
Maybe they're called drivers or devil drivers or something like that.
I like drivers, just a generic.
Drivers?
Yeah, they drive the demons away.
Okay,
yeah.
I like drivers.
You can almost see them as I could see them as like a nomadic order. I mean, one time they were bound to a temple, but now they are the people who live between the civilized areas.
Ooh, that'd be cool to belong to them. I mean, that's not this campaign. You guys are not drivers, but they could be a help or a hindrance depending how you come across them. They could be an enemy, right?
Well, maybe their like common parlance name is like the ones between, since they're always between civilization and the wild world.
The ones between.
Yeah.
But that could have another meaning too, because that could be like in a spiritual or a like an ethereal sense even too, depending on how they go.
Yeah.
I can see that.
That could be Dem's tie-in to being on caravans. Dem has the history in order to do the negotiations and discuss with the ones between to help facilitate the travels.
He could. I mean, as long as he's making his coin, boom, right? Okay. Yeah, drivers, also known as the ones in between. What did you call that name? The ones between. What type of name was that you called it?
Oh, like a common parlance.
Common parlance.
Yeah, like
I like.
the name drivers probably isn't known to everybody, but the title, the ones between, is probably known to most.
Okay. Okay.
Like anyone who's ever seen them or met one, it's probably part of like an old hymn they come up with or something like that, and then it was just shortened down to that.
Okay. Good. We got that. Fighters are accepted as a necessity. They are a necessary evil or a necessary whatever, despite how you look at them. You need them to protect people. For the in-betweens. Yeah. And then the bard. Our bard will probably have the main idea, the main plot. He'll be introducing it, and we'll talk to him about that as we tighten that down a little bit more. I can think of that if you guys want me to, and come up with it and kind of introduce it, or we can still all talk about it, and then I can, basically we need a broad topic, and then I get the intricate details in there that you guys discover later. That's kind of how it works, right? So we can either...
No, that's not how it works. The bard makes up the intricate details.
No. You're almost right. I wrote dragons, because there will be at least one. And trade is difficult. Protecting caravans to and fro is something that the players do. So that's actually a really good outline. I think that's a really good starting point. I gave you guys each one little bit of homework for your own characters. I can reiterate that in the Discord chat if I need to, but you guys kind of got that. The sword, the mandolin, and the last name, respectively, to the three of you. Anything else you guys want to throw in there? Any little tidbits? Anything about the main quest right now? Because that would be helpful. That way I can do thinking and I don't have to bug you guys in Discord all week.
If trade is difficult, why don't we have like maybe not so much a princess, but a device that can help with transportation, like a flying device.
Does it get taken?
No, it's one that is legend. It is of legend.
Oh.
It allows you to...
Like an airship?
Kind of. Something that allows you to fly like a bird. Fly
or like a dragon.
Or like a dragon. Maybe you can tame a dragon.
Maybe it's a mechanical dragon that was designed to kill dragons.
Oh my god.
See, I could be like, there's a flying machine we can get. And Rudiger's going to be like, I don't trust you. There's no way there's a flying machine that can fly.
I like flying machine, and then I can take it from there. And you can you might think it's one thing, but it turns out to be something completely different, but on topic, right? Something like that? Flying.
It would depend, because with the amount of... Would area actually know or not?
You might have heard of an old legend that told about this thing that was supposed to help do this other thing. I've heard that there is this mechanical contraption that is supposed to help safely with passage between cities. I've heard it has wings. Is it something like the dragon? I don't know. Maybe I just say it is because it sounds more interesting. Maybe I embellish that story a little bit, and it sounds like it's something like this. And it's really just something that's like this, but we don't know, right? I think that sounds pretty good. Especially if trade is a big thing, right?
Absolutely.
So is our motive then for the glory and the money we get from getting this item?
I would think it'd be something it would probably be heavily guarded, right? And there's a lot to gain from anyone going. Glory, gold, knowledge, power. Also, it would do the world good as well, especially after the debacle that just happened with our first episode where the caravan's happening, something goes wrong, right? And the bard's like, well, we could always go search for this ancient thing I heard one time a long time ago and see if that helps us. I mean, do you guys want to do that? I mean, it could be something like that, right? I don't know. We're sick of getting beaten up on these caravan routes. We need help. That just so happens I know something that might possibly be true, maybe, from
But
legend.
wait, there's more.
Area. I know this is something we should probably discuss more after the show, but as an idea, maybe we have this as like your personal mission, and then have that link into the main mission, so that everything's like one strong point of continuity or something like that.
What would that be?
Well, I was thinking like if maybe we lose the caravan that we're protecting, and then we're like, you know what, we're tired of losing these caravans. Era's like, hey, I know this thing that can help us, and then we eventually find it. Hopefully, anyways. Hopefully, we don't like destroy ourselves in the process, and then we take it out for a spin. We find that there are these mythical fucking beings who rule the entire fucking skies. So that's a new thing. And then we're able to save it, but now we have this new problem to deal with. And there are other problems that are happening at the closest town to where we land.
What if we get attacked by this thing?
Yeah, that's what I was assuming. Yeah.
Yeah, we get attacked by that thing. I want to go after it because I've never seen anything like it. What could be better for my interest? There's tons of money to be in it, and you've got a personal stake because they just kicked your butt.
So you're talking about the main objective of the quest turns against you when you find it?
I was thinking, like, what if our caravan got attacked by the mechanical dragon?
Or just a dragon, either way.
Something sets us up.
Are dragons something that we know a lot about, or are they screaming the rare? Like,
I go for rare.
I like the idea of rare.
I mean, a dragon fight in the very first episode? I mean, how awesome is that?
That'd be intense for a level 1 fucking character.
I don't know if it's a fight. I think it'd be more of a flyover with a lot of screaming. But...
I mean, I could start you with a little extra XP because you guys are experienced, but it still will be level 1, I think, effectively.
Right? I can't imagine it'd be much more than trying to survive a dragon in that first one, but it sets it up.
I think it could have minions even. There could be some kind of minion battle to go with it to make it awesome. It would get the wheels, it would grease the wheels and get the campaign going and get everybody kind of a feel of how the game works as well. Right? I mean, without giving too much away, leaving some surprises intact. But I think that's good. We open up on a calm afternoon as the caravan approaches the final gates of the city. Only 2 miles out. Whew! We've almost made it. No problem now. And go. Something like that.
Oh, look, there's this giant fire-breathing lizard, and it's made of metal or something.
All right. That's all.
Why is Arius singing frantically about a dragon? We haven't seen one of those for years.
What's a dragon?
Oh.
What is this Durgan thing?
Oh crap! If you were singing about a dragon and it attacks you, I'd almost think that you summoned it.
Yeah.
I almost would think that you summoned it.
Rudiger definitely would.
It would make those who don't trust me probably trust me even less.
Yeah, because now you're like, now that we've gotten beat up by this dragon I was singing about, we should go find something to stop it.
Hey, Rudiger, I heard you like to fight strong things. Here you go.
Yep.
We also add a ton.
And there's magic to be discovered.
Yeah.
Why aren't we going?
It would also add a ton to Aria's value as a bard. Wow, Aria can summon dragons with the stories he knows.
Jesus Christ, that could get out of hand.
Okay. Especially if it's not true. Just the reputation alone could cause us trouble.
But if it was true, like, now I'm going to sing about ogres. No! It's just like, stop singing! Stop singing!
Somebody could cut out his tongue. He could become mute. It'd be fine.
Oh, crap.
We learned that Aria he doesn't have the hymns of the old gods. He has the hymns of, like, magic itself and the darkness of nature.
Oh, man.
I like where this is going.
I like where it's going, too. Area's magic. Something dark. I'm just going to put that there. Exclamation point, asterisk, asterisk. Remember this. Okay.
In this translation, he thought he had the songs of the old gods and said he has the songs of the old ones.
The old ones?
Yeah.
The great old ones?
The great old ones.
Did you just bring Cthulhu into this already?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. Yes, that. Yes. Do you know how much of a Cthulhu freak I am? These other two do.
Oh, man. No, I adore Lovecraft. That man. My favorite thing is he's always like, it was an undescribable horror. Let me describe it to you.
Yep. I'm gonna try not to go too Cthulhu in our first Dungeon World game together, but we'll see.
All right.
All right, guys, I got a scooch.
All right.
We'll
call it good
right.
there. Have a good night, Dem. Thanks for watching,
we'll see
everybody.
you guys next Sunday.
Next Sunday, 6:30.
That's fun.
Be there.
All right.
You too.
Take care, guys.